here we go. So I paid £216 for this. And it got delivered today. And it says PS5 digital, beeps once when pressing power button but won't start up. I had a qualified technician open it up to see if it might be a simple capacitor replacement, but he couldn't find the short. Put it back together to the state it was in before, i.e. with the single beep and no startup. Well, we'll see. So yeah, I paid £216 for this digital edition. Hopefully I can fix it. Is there going to be an SSD inside? That is the question, mate, but probably not. Probably not, because I'm not that lucky. Let's find out before we even get to it. Before we even get to testing it, let's find out, is there an SSD inside this one? Now, on a serious note, one day I'm going to get lucky and find an SSD. Today's video is sponsored by PCBWeight.com. During the month of December, PCBWeight are holding their biggest ever promotion with up to $435 in coupons just for answering simple questions. With up to 50% off CNC and 3D printing, you won't find a better value for money anywhere online. And with a 24-hour turnaround time on rapid prototyping and production, you can get your project off the ground faster than ever. What's more, PCBWeight are also offering PCB prototyping from as low as $5 for 10 pieces. That's by far the most cost-effective service for you to start developing your own products. If that wasn't enough, PCBWeight are also giving up to 50% off all items in their online store. So whether you need tools, parts, or you're just looking for a quick project that you can build, they've got you covered. Head over to the link in the video description to learn more about this huge sale and get your passion project going today. Thanks again to PCBWeight for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to fixing this PS5. You'll never get a free SSD. Maybe, I might do. Someone will mess up one day. Dun, 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 dun. Nope. Nope. Well, that sucks. It's Travis's fault. Travis stole it. Alright, let's see what's going on with this one then. Well, no single beep so far. Nope. Oh, there's the beep. About a minute later. Alright, this is going to have a boot sequence of about 150 milliamps. Because you can't get past the boot sequence. Apparently it's been opened up. Hopefully we can figure it out. Wouldn't it be cool if I could just do this and make all the screws come out? Alright, anyway, let's get to this then, shall we? What are we dealing with here? The Wi-Fi IC has been reflowed or replaced or reballed or something. Alright, so my bench supply is in the bottom right hand corner. Sorry, not my bench supply, I keep saying that. My multimeter's on the bottom right corner. And I've got that set in voltage mode. Let's just test for some voltages, shall we? We're going to get 12 volt because we do get a beep occasionally, so that's going to be present. And for some reason it's in slow mode, don't know why that is. Let me change that to fast, there we go. Yeah, okay, so 12 volts there. And we should get 5 here. We do. We should get 3.3 there. We do. We should get 5 here. And we don't. We don't get 5 volts. Do we get 5 volts on the other side of the fuse? Yes, we do. We've got another signature failure. We've got an F7002 failure, and that means that the SBV chip has probably failed. So it's dead short on one side of the fuse, and the fuse is blown as well. So that should be a really simple fix. So someone's took the Wi-Fi IC off, which means I've now probably got to take that off just to reboard it and potentially replace it. They've melted this connector, which is how I know that they've definitely been in this area, and also I can see signs of flux. So this professional technician probably hasn't tested for voltage rails. They've watched a few videos on YouTube by some idiot who post videos on how to fix PS5s, i.e. some dickhead named the coder, and they've gone, oh, that's the same symptom I'm getting. So hey, let's just take the Wi-Fi IC off, or let's reflow it because we don't know how to fix it. And then they've put it back together and said, sorry mate, it's a dead CPU. It's not really, but I just don't know what's wrong. Yeah, professional technician. Oh dear. So now what I need to do is try and figure out where the short circuit is. So I know that we've got a short circuit on F7002, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually short. It could be short on the 3.3 volt side, it could be short on the 5 volt side, it could be short on this side of the board. Unfortunately, we are not going to know that unless we inject voltage. So we're going to have to do that because, yeah, that's dead short to ground. It's nullifying the leads. So if we're going to diode mode, test there as well, we have a dead short. And if we flip the board around, we also have a dead short on this side. But if we test on the input side of the fuse, I know it's beeping, but that's because beep mode's set to on, but we don't have a dead short on the input side of the fuse. So the short is definitely on the output side. So it's either on this SBV chip or one of the surrounding components here, or it's going to be on this SBV chip or one of those surrounding components. It could be on the HDMI encoder, but that's very unlikely. Let's just check around here. I'm going to do a visual inspection first. So these SBV chips, I do sell these on my store, by the way, so if you do need any, just let me know. That probe point was me, don't worry about that. I'm going to go, I can go up to 5 volts here, but I'm going to go for 2 volts. Yee, there we go. Alright, there's my bench supply on the screen, top left hand corner, and now I can inject voltage. So now you can see what kind of current gets drawn from this when I inject. Voltage, that is. Top right, yeah, top right. That's the one. 2 volts, so it's dropping down to 1.2 volts at 4.5 amps. That's a lot of amps. It looks like this SBV chip might have failed. Based on that, it could be one of the caps that's connected to it, but the chip is what's getting hot, so I'll remove that and see if that resolves the short. Should be a nice straightforward repair. I've got my hot air at 480 degrees Celsius, and that's at 60% airflow. There we go, chip removed. Let's just inject voltage again, and that will tell me whether the short's gone. And yep, we get absolutely no current drawn now at all. So if I just show you that I'm on ground, just to show you I'm using the right leads. There you go. The SBV chip has failed, which means that we should just replace this chip and then we should be able to call it good. So now all I've got to do is find a donor board, because we need a fuse as well anyway, so I may as well just pull one from a donor board, and then that's one more that I can sell on the store. So before I do that, I'm going to replace these components, or rather I'm going to remove this component, the fuse, and I'm also going to re-tin this area for the IC. There we go. So at least the fuse did its job. Come on. Come on, you know you don't want to stay on that board. Come on, you're already dead. Just go to your grave, will ya? No, stop hanging around. Come on. No loitering. No loitering. There we go. No loitering. Right. So there's a replacement fuse. And there's a replacement chip. I cannot get to that capacitor. Sorry, I can't get in between the capacitor rather. It's a little bit tight. That's alright. Alright, that will do me nicely. The IPA will dry itself away. It's non-conductive, so it's not going to hurt anything. Let's just sort out this liquid metal. So I'm just sorting out the liquid metal, get that realigned properly. Alright, that's got more than enough liquid metal on there. Does it turn on? Is it going to turn on, yay or nay? Nay. Nay. Still got another issue. Well, that sucks balls, doesn't it? Because that's probably now the Wi-Fi chip. We've got 5 volts back. But we don't have 3.3. We don't have 3.3 at that side. So it's not generating that 3.3 volt rail. Someone has been messing where they shouldn't. That could have been on the right track. So what they could have done is they could have found a short on that Wi-Fi IC, and then because it didn't fix the issue, they've just given up on it. But someone's definitely reflowed that area, so I think I'm going to inject a couple of volts again and try and find the hotspot. This time I'm probably going to need to use the thermal cam to find it. I'm going to go for 1.5 volts because if the 3.3 is short to the 1.8 volt line, then I don't want to inject more than 1.5 volts to keep it below the 1.8 volt that it takes. So Okay, I'll get 2 amps of current draw on the 3.3 volt inductor. I've got an inductor just here where F7002 was. So this inductor here, we're supposed to get 3 volts here. As you can see, we're drawing 1.8 volts at 3 amps. 1.8 amps at 3 volts. 1.9 amps. So I wonder where that short is. So I guess it's thermal cam time. Let's try and pick it up. Show yourself, Mr. Short. I might not be quite getting the voltage I want to get. I could do with a clip for the ground leg. Sorry, for the ground point. Hang on a minute. Right, so I've got a crocodile clip, so I can ground it by clipping it there. That's going to decrease resistance on the ground probe. There we go, look, see that? Now I can draw 3.6 amps of current. Hi. Hi, Mr. Heat Spot. Ignore that there, that's just my probe getting warm. Hi, Mr. Heat Spot. Oh, that's smoking like a mofo. I don't even need the thermal cam, I can see that bitch. It's smoking like a motherfucker. Is that coming across on camera? Oh, and it stinks. Can you smell it? Oh, yeah. Oh, I can smell it. Is that coming across? I think you can see odd little bits of smoke. Okay, so that 3.3 volt line isn't short. Alright, so that was on the right track. Sort of. Oh, hang on a minute. They've put a bad cap on. What? Or have they? Like, that's smoking like a bitch. You can even see how bad the cap is. Like, you don't even need to test it. Lick it. Not at 200 degrees Celsius, mate. No thanks. Pop goes the weasel. I don't know if that was coming across. Lick it with IPA. Why am I using hot air? 10 gifted subs if you lick it. Not worth it. Nope. $50 gifted subs. Nope, not worth it. Plus, you can't give 50 subs, you skint. You told me last week. So I ain't falling for that, dude. 1,000 gifted subs. Done. Show me the money. Oi. Oh no. Ow, burnt myself. Cap's like I'm not getting burned alive. Yeah, and me like a dickhead, I've just gone to clean up the board that I'm taking donor components from. Oh God. I'll give up on life. How's she looking now? Is it gonna be short? Let's just find out by injecting voltage. Nope. We got a little bit of initial current draw as it turned the chip on. And then that was it. It went into standby. Boom. Short gone. Do 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 do. Another short bites the dust. Do 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 do. Another short bites the dust. And another one comes. Another one comes. Another short bites the dust. Do. I'm gonna clear you too. Another short bites the dust. Does it turn on now? No. Wow. Still the same fault. How have we got 2 shorts on that board and still no power? What have they done to your little board? Yes, I've still got no power. Look, that's it's a little bit weird. Where did I put my probe? There it is. Actually, why am I doing that? I can just ground it like this. Oh, we've got liquid metal everywhere. I've got some liquid metal there, so we could have a liquid metal spill. Right. Damn it, I'm in diode mode. Voltage mode. 5. 3.3. 5. 3.3 is now back. 1.1 when I initially power it on. 5. 2.8. 2.5. Come on. Yeah, I think it is the Wi-Fi IC. Come on, I want to see if I get 1.5 volt. No, okay, the RAM is not turning on. And I'm not getting 5 volt here either. This should be 12. Yeah, this should be 12. Yeah. So it looks like I've got another case here where I need to undo whatever work someone's done. Yeah, so I'm not getting 5 volt here. I'm not getting 1.5 volt here. So what it looks like to me is that this has had some sort of a power surge. It's taken out multiple components by the look of it, and then someone's gone in there messing and caused even more issues. I'm wondering if they was on the right track finding a short in the area, but then they've just decided to remove the Wi-Fi IC and that shorted cap to find out that the short didn't clear and it didn't fix the issue because F7002 was also short. And then they've probably just dropped the chip back on. Seems like leaded solder, so they might have reballed it properly. The chip could potentially have been bad anyway. So I'll just replace that solder. But then I'm also wondering, have they just sat there and reflowed the shit out of the thing, hoping to fix it? Because whoever did it isn't I wouldn't call it a professional. I wouldn't call them bad, but I wouldn't call him a professional. Because if there was a professional, they would have found that short on F7002. It would have been one of the first things that they looked for, and it would have been one of the first things that they found. So I'm not going to be calling him a professional. I would consider him either a hobbyist or they're just someone who repairs stuff but doesn't know the circuit. A professional to me is someone who knows the circuit inside out, or at least knows a lot of the circuit inside out. That's not me slagging anyone off, I just don't think they're a professional if they didn't find that short. Any professional would have found it. It took me precisely 30 seconds to find. Probably not even that. So I'm wondering if they've just reflowed that chip. But what I don't understand is that shorty cap on the other side of here, where the Wi-Fi area is, had flux on it. So what doesn't make any sense to me is why didn't they remove that cap or just leave it off the board, because, well, it was short and they'd been in that area. So the only thing I can think is that they was like, oh yeah, it didn't fix the issue, so we'll just basically put everything back as it was. I mean, in that case, like in that situation, I can't fault them for putting everything back. But if that was me and I had a shorty component and it was definitely 100% short, I wouldn't replace it. I wouldn't put it back at all. For the simple reason being, there is absolutely no point. There's just no point in replacing it, because, or rather putting it back, because it's short. So why would you? Like, why would you waste your time? Why waste your own time in putting them back? Especially capacitors. Like chips maybe. Expensive chips definitely. So as the customer can't think that you're nicking the stuff off them. Or nicking the components out off the boards. Like expensive chips. Like chips worth over a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars. Yeah, I'll put back. Just out of respect for the customer. But a tiny cap worth less than a penny? No, I wouldn't put it back. Whether it resolves the short or not, if I take it off and it doesn't, and I can't fix the issue, I'm not replacing it. But you know, but any ICs I would put back. Let's just drop some flux on there. That'll do. I'm just making do with no nozzle on my flux tube for now, because I threw it away like a dickhead. I threw the needle away like a dickhead. These don't take long to reball, by the way. You know, 5-10 minutes tops. They're actually they're actually 1mm balls, but because we can't buy 1mm balls, I use 0.76, and it seems to do the job. Okay, that's done. Ready to go back on the board. Looks good to me. Ow, looks hot, feels hot to me as well. Right, okie dokie. Way too much flux, but hey ho. We can always scrape some off. And wipe it on our trousers, because we're a gangster like that. Right, so the correct way for this is we've got one ball missing. And one ball missing on the chip. So we just match that up. Line it up with the squares in the corners, and ready to reflow. That's not slanted, by the way, it's just the way the microscope's set. Let's just wait for it to sit down. Come on. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why this Wi-Fi I see is gonna work. Is that just a bubble? I think it is. Sizzle, sizzle. Yeet, mother flipper. Forget doing anything with the power supply for now. Let's just take my test cable. And I'm going to see if I get a proper boot sequence. So I'm expecting this to jump up to 300 milliamps and then jump straight back down to 0. Well, not straight back down, like after a few seconds or so. So I'm going to put my power supply on. Yep, that's a normal boot sequence. Yeah, that's a normal boot sequence, guys. That should be turning on. The key word here is should. It's all that liquid metal on my freaking hand. My hand was clean before I started this stream. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about, baby! Let's get it, let's go! White light, baby. White light. That is what I'm talking about. And that is one fixed PS5, ladies and gents. Yeah, boy! Do we get a display? Come on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's some good games on here. Cyberpunk. Returnal. Gran Turismo. Horizon Forbidden West. Deathloop. God of War. That one's shit. Spider-Man. Another Spider-Man. Ratchet and Clank. Some good games on here, guys. It's on 6.02. Not a FIFA player. Yeah, that's why we managed to fix it, mate. Because he's not a FIFA player. Alright, well, that works. Let's just make sure we get a Wi-Fi signal. Come on. Show me the Wi-Fi. There we go. Did you buy this one? Yes, mate. Yep, paid £216 for it. Connecting to the Wi-Fi. You're signed out. I don't care. Let's get it, let's go. That is a job done. Let's just make sure it still turns on. It does indeed. So I'll let that boot up. Yeah, so this should have been easier, but it looks like this professional technician made it 10 times worse. So what they seem to have done, they was on the right track, but what they seem to have done is they found a short around Wi-Fi, which is fairly common. I've come across it quite a few times myself. And normally it's a cap on the back. Underneath the Wi-Fi IC, but what they've done is they've just jumped the gun and they've attempted to remove or reflow the Wi-Fi IC rather than replacing that cap. Or scenario number 2 would be that they've removed it, they've removed the Wi-Fi IC, they've removed the cap, and still a short remained, or it didn't fix it, so they've put the original components back on. But in doing so, they've made it worse. If they'd have actually gone through the voltage rails like you should do, they would have found that issue straight away. They would have gone. All they have to do realistically is watch a video on YouTube. Every single video that I produce on YouTube, I'll go through the same process. It's a process that I've developed, and it's a process that I've found to be efficient and reliable. I'll start at the HDMI encoder at the back. I'll test for 5 volts. Then I'll test for 3.3 volt on the same area. Then I'll test for 5 volt at the F7002 fuse. I'll test for 3.3 volt at the F7002 area, because that takes 5 volts in and 3.3 volts out, unless you're on a EDM020 board, and that takes 5 volts in and 1.8 volts out. Then I'll test my 2 volt, my 2.5 volt, my 5 volt on the left hand side of the board, which powers the seat, which is input power for the SSD. Then I'll test my 1.5 volt when I try and turn it on. I'll test my 5 volt line on the bottom right hand side of the board by the 12 volt input when I try and turn it on, and then I'll test the 1.1 volt line on the back of the south bridge when I try and turn it on. And that gives me an idea. You don't even need to take the board out to test your voltage rails on these. Literally all you need to do is just take the covers off, and you can get to all of your voltage rails, everything you need. That is going to tell you exactly what is wrong with the machine. You don't need to reflow Wi-Fi ICs. You don't need to sit there probing random components. It's a set process from right to left, back to right. And that's it. That is literally it. And you will find probably 90% of no power faults just based on those 7 or 8 test points. And it'll tell you exactly what's wrong. That's why I knew exactly where the short was as soon as I found a blown fuse and a shorted F7002 area, because I know, based on experience, that F7002 area, if that is short, then you've got a blown fuse and you've got either a bad cap on the F7002 SBV or the SBV chip on the back of the board or on the APU side of the board. It's one of the two. And normally, if that's the issue, that blows before anything else and it prevents any further damage. But it looks like what this so-called professional's done is they've completely ignored that area, gone straight to the Wi-Fi IC and just started reflowing stuff. Or they've removed components, realised it hasn't fixed it, and then they've just thrown them back on the board and said, no, don't know what's wrong with it. So, yeah, they've made it worse. They've made the job a little bit more difficult. Have I got a spare screw? Now we're going to take it back apart and find out where that is. Alright, well, anyway, yeah. Replace that SBV chip. Replace the fuse. Replace that capacitor on the Wi-Fi IC and the Wi-Fi module. And all's well that ends well. This console boots. It works. It connects to the internet. And now it's going to be sold. So, yeah. There you go. So, yeah. Like I said earlier, this has been live streamed on YouTube. On Twitch, rather, not YouTube. So, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the bell notifications. And that way you don't miss any future videos. If you do want to support me, you can head over to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber by linking an Amazon Prime account to Twitch and then subscribing to me completely free. It does massively help me out if you've got Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you anything to do as well. So, yeah, I really do appreciate everyone that supports me. And you can also buy parts and components such as that SBV chip and Wi-Fi modules for the PS5 at consolefix.shop. That's my online store. You can also book in a repair at consolefix.co.uk. Snowdome. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate the support. But yep, consolefix.shop, consolefix.co.uk for repairs. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next video.